What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at Jordan Henderson's first in form. He has had a double upgrade from an 84 to now an 86, a 3-star, somebody who is pretty much overlooked in this game, really. I don't think he's had many big cards. Last year he only got up to an 87. The year before he did manage to get a team of the season, and I think that was his first team of the season, which is a little bit shocking from the Liverpool captain himself, but I suppose sometimes he doesn't do the most magnificent work in terms of what the media would see, in terms of kind of what he does, kind of like tracking the ball, kind of tackling, all of that kind of grueling stuff. Then yes, that isn't necessarily going to get him a special, but it is a shame that he's kind of missed on the off promos as well. I know 3-star is definitely not appealing at this point of the game, especially with the likes of Conte's flashback or even just Gold Conte. I think he plays such a better part in CDM because with almost just 70 pace, he isn't going to be going up and down the pitch, unfortunately. Maybe if we got like an 85 pace Jordan, then maybe yes, we might get him as more of a box-to-box, but unfortunately with that 69, he's going to definitely have to be a CDM and kind of more of a static one at that. In terms of kind of chemistry styles we're looking at, people have put Powerhouse, which I think is a magnificent one, but I think missing out on obviously that pace increase is going to be huge. You've only got 70 acceleration, 69 sprint speed, and with Powerhouse should get 88 defending, 94 passing, which is brilliant. But I think that shadow is definitely needed, taking his pace to just shy of 80, and then obviously putting his defending up to 89, which does make him an 88 CDM. Powerhouse does make him a 91, so it's going to be an interesting one. I think what I'm personally going to do is go with the first match in Powerhouse, just to see if the pace is enough. I feel like it won't be, especially when you're kind of coming up against them big midfield players who are very, very quick. We've seen the likes of them. Even if you've got somebody with a mad team and having to put somebody like a Ginola in kind of midfield, he is never going to catch up, unfortunately. Even somebody kind of like more like Bernardo's 89, or even looking at somebody in the terms of like De Bruyne, even though they not necessarily got the massive amount of pace, I think the agility balance will kind of weigh Jordan down a little bit. Even though I do think his interceptions and his tackling is going to be spot on, I just feel like the pace is going to be the big downfall for this card. And hopefully in the future we do see a bigger upgrade from him. Maybe we see a flashback back to FIFA 20 or FIFA 19, whichever it was. So let's jump into him. He's got leadership, team player, and early crosser. Don't know why he needs early crosser, but we're going to be playing him in a CDM. He's going to take over Conte's position in my main team, and he's going to be linking up with his teammate, big boy player of the month, Salah. So let's jump into him and see if he's worth just over 30,000 coins at the moment. Into Jordan, into the midfield. I'm expecting more of a pass. Obviously, when it comes to his Powerhouse, that was poor from me. That was genuinely the wrong direction. But I'd expect with his Powerhouse, kind of more of a controller midfielder, somebody who can kind of give the play, make it kind of go more forward than what a normal centre mid would. Even though he doesn't have the pace, we will see kind of as the game unfolds how much that works. Jordan pushing it up the field. Jordan pushing it forward. Finds it in a bit of Draxler, who is going to find Messi, and Kimpembe is going to do enough, and Salah can't poke it home at the far post there. Jordan's not done too bad so far. Not really had too much defensive work, mainly just kind of playing it out at the moment. We haven't really seen him go through the middle, as the guy just seems to just be massively going over the top and just playing that big long through ball into Werner or obviously Mbappe. So he hasn't done too much defensive work, which will be interesting to see, but it is nice to see him kind of pushing really far up front here. Jordan with a header away. That's the better defensive duties that we've been waiting for. Looking at Jordan in more of the defensive zone here. He has got CR7 Vinicius on the attack, so it's going to be a very interesting one to see what he can do against them, really. I feel like definitely with Jordan, his pace isn't necessarily a massive issue, I must admit. With the Powerhouse, he's not terribly slow, but I think the agility balance is something that really would do massive benefits from it, from an upgrade there. Jordan coming in with a tackle there as CR7 was gonna peel away. Did manage to make that challenge, which is always nice. He's gone for the ball, but nowhere near the goal. And I think Jordan coming in at, what, 30k-ish. I feel like he will drop down heavily when we do get the promo packs Friday. So knowing he's probably going to be more discard, if anything, I think he's a nice pickup in terms of investment as well, to be fair to him. If he does get anywhere near kind of the 16 to 15k mark, you've definitely got yourselves a bargain there with an 86 Liverpool CM. You know that he's going to go up in price, even if you don't want to use him. Into Henderson, looking for that run off him. Absolutely nobody there. He's going to have to try and fight his way through Petit and Vieira. It's just not happening in this day at the moment. Henderson with a fantastic ball into Salah there. Picks him on the halfway line. Keeper tries to dummy Salah, and personally it's not the greatest opportunity from myself. Henderson with an interception. Very, very poor pass from himself. Oh, Henderson, you melon. And a Henderson away, even better. So going into the overall for big boy Henderson then, to be honest, average at best comes to mind really for him. And I think that is kind of what we was kind of expecting for just 30,000 coins. You're not really going to get the best of the best in terms of centre mids or DMs in that case. I did find that Powerhouse was actually quite a nice chemistry style to put on him. Would I say that he needs more pace? Yes, but I think you can kind of get away with it slightly, but it all depends on the opponents you're going against. If you've got somebody going straight through the middle, he will run rings around Henderson. He was better at kind of bringing the play to the attackers rather than actually defending as such. He got a couple of interceptions at best, but people just passed around him. And I think the through balls, the over the tops, the down the wings are going to just bypass him in every kind of scenario. Conte really brings himself back, and I think with Henderson's high work rates, we saw him far too much up the pitch and then doesn't have enough pace to get back down before that attack has actually happened. So that is just a kind of a little bit of a dive into his kind of play. Do I think that he's going to make people's main teams? More than likely not. I think you've got plenty of options in terms of the Premier League at the best, let alone just looking at England's team. If we was looking, you've got obviously De Bruyne in just any version, Conte in any version. You've also got, in terms of DMs anyway, you're looking at maybe a Gundogan. Declan Rice is kind of very similar. I think he's got the same sort of almost how he moves in terms of his animations. I feel like they're very similar, very static. But then somebody like Tillemans, 30,000 coins, same sort of player. I think he is a little bit better. The 3-star definitely doesn't help Henderson, whereas obviously Tillemans has the 4-star, 5-star. And then in terms of anybody else, I think you're looking relatively the same sort of level as we go further and further down. And obviously, I'd even probably take Fred at this rate. And to be honest, not to put too much shade on him, I think Fred is probably quite a good centre mid / DM. But Henderson for me is going to be more of a name player rather than actually going into the main team. I think he will get a few more informs going forward. Hopefully we do see it, maybe some outside of the kind of inform promos, something where he could kind of get his weak foot, his skill moves up. Maybe a big boost in pace would be quite nice. Other than that, I feel like he's definitely going to sit on that kind of mid to low tier in terms of informs. Overall wise, I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. I don't think he's going to be making many people's teams, and I just actually want to check what is the England midfield saying, because I know we've got quite a few good players now. Obviously Foden's in there. I'd say Rice is very similar. Even Laurent, the championship squad foundation player, probably would get ahead of him. So if you're looking at maybe kind of one box to box, one cam and a DM, I think you'd be looking at something like Laurent, Foden, and then maybe something like Ali if you're not looking at kind of icons there. So he probably doesn't even get into the England setup squad builder. So that kind of tells you where he's kind of heading. I feel like fodder-wise, he's going to be fantastic. 86 England centre mid. You can't argue there. So definitely look for them deals if we get an abundance of lightning rounds going into Friday. But apart from that, make sure you like and do subscribe. And I'll see you all for the next one. Peace.